I'm at the North Loop Trailhead in Mount Charleston off of Nevada 158. The trail starts over here. The trail starts out going up a series of switchbacks. It really is a good workout, just going up this first part. The trail continues down there, but I came over here just to take a peek what the view's like over here. It's expansive. I think the altitude is starting to get to me. Got a headache. My vision's starting to black out. So I just took a couple Tylenol. See if that helps. I see in my Garmin that Raintree Peak is like right up here somewhere, very close. I can tell from my Garmin that the trail comes up here, turns on a switchback, and that might be the best place to go off trail and bag Raintree Peak, which is right up here. I've reached the bend in the switchback, and so at this point I'm just gonna go up this way. So far it's just a pretty easy hike. I'm at the top of Raintree Peak. I guess that's a rain tree. Very easy hike from where I came up. I see the other side here is steep off into the forest. This is the Mummy's Toe. This might be Fletcher Peak. Another peak near here is Raintree Point. So I'm going to see if I can find that. Kind of looks like there's a trail here. This is on the other side of where I came up. And I can tell in my Garmin that the Charleston Peak North Loop Trail is down that way, so I'm going to see if this leads to it. Definitely a trail here. The way I came up is fine. That was no problem at all, but I guess maybe the official way to Raintree Peak is this way. A short hike later, I'm back on the North Loop Trail. So I'm going to continue down here and try to find my way to the Raintree Point Peak. I came down this trail here, and I'm at this junction, and I do see that Raintree Point is like right up here. So I'm going to follow this trail, and then when it looks passable, I'm going to go off trail and go up to Raintree Point. I've come up this way just a little bit, and it looks like I'm at the closest approach point for Raintree Point. So I'm just gonna go up this way now. Definitely steeper and more slippery than Raintree Peak, but it's not very far. Came up from over here. My Garmin shows the peak at like right down over here, but the high point is just right up here where I'm going now. All right, this should be Raintree Point. It's a nice hike up here. There's one last Raintree Peak, and that's called Raintree Hill. I think to get there, I'm gonna have to backtrack a bit. So I'm gonna go back the way I came up, get back on the trail, and find my way to Raintree Hill. I came back down to the trail. Mostly I was coming down sideways, having my lead foot slide down the rocks until it caught. And I could move down. So Fletcher Peak is this way going up. Raintree Hill is back this way. I'm back at this trail junction where I came from the right to get to Raintree Hill. I continue straight. Just a little bit from that junction, you come up here to what looks like a split. The North Loop Trail continues this way, but I believe this trail here goes to Raintree Hill. Raintree Hill looks to be just right up here. Easy hike. I just need to go around and up. And again, my Garmin shows the actual peak somewhere where it's not. It's either going to be here or it's going to be here. I'm going to go to both places. And you really got to watch your step going up here. So I'm going to declare victory. I'm on Rainbow Hill. I'll go to the other one now too. Okay, I've come up to the second peaklet, just in case. And I guess this is called a Raintree. Interesting looking tree. Got a heck of a root system. Well, I did all three Raintree peaks. When I came up here on my last hike, I actually came up this way, went down this way, but I'll go back the way I came up. I've made it back to the North Loop Trail. To go back the way I came, I want to go to my right. I'm back at this intersection coming up this way. I'm going to make my way up to Fletcher Peak. The trail leads to the top up there. I've made it to where peakbacker.com thinks Fletcher Peak is at. There's the peak register right there. However, Google Earth and Garmin Basecamp show Fletcher Peak over here, and then there's a sub-peak, Fletcher South Peak. So I'm going to make my way over there now. So I'm just going to go down here and then go up that little peak. Found a easy place to go down, like right over here. All right, well, getting down wasn't so bad. I gotta go up this way. It looks pretty easy to navigate up. Sounds like someone's at the Peakbagger Peak. Actually, the Google Earth Peak, a little bit further this way. It's very easy terrain to traverse. This little peak here is a Fletcher South-East Peak. I'm on top of Fletcher South-East Peak. What's weird is that my Garmin shows Fletcher Peak like over this way, close, but there's nothing there. So I'm thinking maybe peakbagger.com is correct. The Fletcher Peak is there, and of course Fletcher South-East Peak is here. I'll poke my head down there, but there's no peak right over here. I'm standing where my Garmin shows Fletcher Peak, but there's no peak right here. Maybe it's this one right here. I'm gonna go up there. I think I was just at the peak here, which should be the Fletcher South-East Peak. So I mean they're like right next to each other. So I'm gonna just go up here. I'm on top of this peak, which I assume is the true Fletcher Peak. Maybe. And that hill over there is Fletcher South-East Peak, which is higher than this peak. So I guess I'm going to declare victory. And at this point, I guess I'll just head back the way I came, get back to my car. Heading back down here. And at the bottom, I go back up to the other peak. Very easy hike down. And now I go up here, a little bit steeper. All right, I made it back up, coming up through here. Back on the trail, heading down from Fletcher Peak. I'm approaching Raintree Point. So this is a nice view of that peak. This is the start of the Hummingbird Hollow Canyon. So just keep going down that way. Will lead you to a pretty steep part of the canyon, and then to Nevada 158. Here's where I started my ascent to Raintree Point. I'm back at the junction I need to make a right at to get back to the North Loop Trailhead. Here's a view of Raintree Peak. Here's that split. To the left goes to Raintree Peak. That's how I came down. But going back, I'm just going to go this way. This is where I started up to Raintree Peak. Now it's down a bunch of switchbacks. Made it back to the trailhead. I'm done.